so we can always fall back to that. And what's in store for the future of Bib Template? So one very small thing that I added specifically to help out with the record results display was the ability to, well, I made Bib Template locale aware. So it knows if you're looking at the French-Canadian version of the catalog to display the status and any other sort of translated elements in the appropriate locale. I think that's in 1.6.1. I think I backported that. And it's certainly in Trunk. And I know, Mike, you've been working on some other enhancements to Bib Template as well.
Yeah, the ability to use meta records instead of records, and then following that at some point will be the ability to use Bib Template to point at other resource types rather than just meta records. So copies, call numbers, URIs will all be top level.
Wow, okay. Okay, so getting more granular sort of information and more generic approach.
Anything an API service can throw at you.
Right, okay. And that's mostly 2.0, right? Or all 2.0? Well, yeah, all 2.0. Okay, so more good stuff coming, but today you can have a record results display that makes a lot of sense. It's very customizable. So I already talked, thanks to your question, about how we're using ISSNs to get electronic holdings resolved directly within our the record details display, so you don't have to click on a Get It at SFX button. It's made our people much happier, and it actually replaced about 3 person years of effort that our electronic resources librarian and various minions had put into manually adding electronic holdings to various records. So I didn't want to make them obsolete, but it was good to make them obsolete.
Yeah, that's fairly easy to apply to cuffs.
Yes. Yeah. I've looked at it. I haven't created the cuffs variation for the open. So I'm using a specific extra open source service called OpenILS Resolver, which knows about the SFX format. But the intention is to make it so that as with org unit settings, you could say our resolver type is SFX or cuffs or serial solutions, and the URL that you'll find the resolver at is whatever per institution. I haven't done that yet, just because I haven't done it yet. But I know that cuffs does have an XML API holdings format, as does serial solutions. I'm not sure about EBSCO for OpenURL resolving, whether they have an API that's accessible, but I've done the proof of concept to make both of those work at some point. So yeah, it would be nice to have. And our electronic resource display, out of the box, what comes with Evergreen shows 856U. It has an understanding of the 856Z, 3, and Y subfields. It doesn't correspond to what we use. So in one case, I think it'll show you a use restriction for what we consider a public note. So you'll get a use restriction label for a public note. So we've basically rewritten our entire 856 holdings, the asset.uri display within our record details to match how ours operates, which basically takes, I think, the public note, and we'll display the public note as the content of the link if there is no link text subfield to display as the content of the link. So you might want to borrow that too if you kind of follow our approach. So there's the link to our repository. That UR1 link is actually a specific link directly to our rdetail summary.xml page, but there is lots of other stuff in the ILS Evergreen contributions repository. And Dojo Toolkit is where you'll find more information about using Dojo, which comes in handy not just for record display, but for all kinds of other manipulations and customizations that you might make to your catalog. And yeah, go at it with, take this and share and do whatever you like with it. As long as you give attribution and share it, you can go forward and teach other people about Bib Template and good stuff. So if there are any other questions, yeah, Melissa.
I noticed when you added it to the display, it put it down on the bottom. Is
Yeah.
there a way that you can reorder that, or is it going to break something?
Nope, you can reorder it however you like. So a couple of things I should add to this. So first of all, that's a table. So if you go into our detail summary page, you'll see it's just a table with a whole bunch of table rows. So
You can just take it and move
exactly, you can move it in any order, and yeah, whatever rows are hidden will just not appear, and it'll just collapse up. One of the modifications we had to make to the R detail display was, I think it used to have a set of something like a maximum of 20 rows or something like that for the table row, and if you added extra rows to it, then you get a weird formatting thing. There's just one small tweak to make the set of rows 40. If you need to do more than 40 rows that you need to display at one time, then you need help. But you can change that easily enough. The other thing is that to make, I think, Internet Explorer specifically happy, we haven't changed the MVR-based display logic yet. So when the record loads, it still displays all the MVR-based stuff. And to do that, it needs to have IDs that exist. Otherwise, Internet Explorer in particular will just choke and die. So we have some hidden table row cells that never display, that are there just for the purpose of the MVR. Dumping stuff into it will happily do it, even though it's never displayed anywhere. At some point, we might rip all of that out so it doesn't happen anymore. It's just bloat at this point that we don't need. But that's also in our detail summary XML. Anything else? If you want to see an example of the search results, catch Kevin or myself at some point when we've got Wi-Fi access, and we'll be happy to show you. Great?
Awesome, Dan. Thanks very much. This is great.
Well, thank Mike. He's the guy who made it possible. So.
I could print, I put all of our journals in cups, whether it's print or electronic.
Right.
So, and we modify it so it would take print. So
yeah.
I'm hoping I can just bring all that data back.
Yeah, I think cups will show you the print and the electronic.
Yeah.
You might need to do some.
Cups does show the
right.
And cups but I'm
right. In the XML format. I mean,
back.
Yeah, you'll just need to modify it appropriately to show.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got, I believe, 10 minutes before, is it lightning talk next?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So 10 minutes, and where are the lightning talks?
And back up in the ballroom.
Back up in the ballroom. All right. Well, thanks, guys.